When I came out to the kitchen, Nighttime was on the floor playing with the door, sort of playing with Marty. All four of them are here. That's good. And here's... Oh my goodness, Mart. You coming, Stripe? There's a mosquito right there. Come on. I'm just trying to let you in and not the mosquito. Unfortunately, the mosquito came in. Dang it. It's Sunday morning, and Don had ordered this for his girl, well, and him, and he made us a big pot of it. So I think I'm going to try it iced, I think. We'll try it iced today, and if next time, maybe if it's a little colder outside, I'll try it hot. Did I say that the kitchen smells delightful? It smells great out here. I can confirm that it tastes like chocolate hazelnut, and it's good iced. There's heavy whipping cream and monk fruit drops in there to sweeten it. This stuff. I shouldn't use as much as I use, organic or not, natural or not, but it's no calorie and it works well. I don't want to go out there. There's too many mosquitoes.
Oh, I can tell you, I made the mistake of going by the hose reel yesterday to fill up the thing to water the plants out at the street, the bucket to go up to the street. And when I reached for the bucket and it kind of rustled your little ferns and all those plants, I'm not kidding you, a fog of mosquitoes raised up. So what I recommend you do if you need to get over there to hose reel,
go the other side of the house.
We'll go get you something to rustle them up and then run them away.
I'll use the water on the other side of the house.
I would use the water on the other side of the house.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do anything but cat water bowls either.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, folks, it's not like we've got a lot of water sitting around with mosquitoes in it, because even leaves in the wood when it rains is enough of a puddle for mosquitoes. So we try to tell people in the woods to make sure you don't have, mosquito or water lying around. Well, that's great, and you can do all of that, and you'll still have just as many mosquitoes. And
right. I would say I put the bait stuff out, and I guess at this point I'd like to put one over there by the hose reel.
Yeah.
Because we were told that mosquitoes rest during the day underneath leaves. They're on in the shade, underside leaves is where they spend the day.
Yeah.
Until something causes them.
We've got some of those mosquito dunks in buckets with a grate on top of it, so the mosquitoes can get in, but the cats and other critters won't drink out of it. Right. And it's hard to, who knows? They could be helping. It could be worse without them. Who knows? We don't know, right?
It's still just bad.
Right. It's just still bad after the storm. So, yeah. I normally look forward to going outside and walking. It's not been bad the whole summer until now.
Right. And we had all that rain.
Right. Other summers have been worse. Like the whole summer long has been bad, but that rain really did it. So Don and I were looking at Teslafy, and he was writing a post on X about our trip to Charlotte or something. Right. And we had this problem with Teslafy where, like, we would go someplace and Don would just sit in the car and I would get out for a couple minutes, or we would sit in the car to play Pokemon, and we wouldn't put the car in park. And then we'd take off after sitting there for 5 or 10 minutes, and it would not know it would know geographically that we were there, but there'd be no entry of how long did I play Pokemon Go at Mineral Springs Park? How long did we idle in a parking space, but not park or get out or whatever? And we're noticing Teslafy, because that guy keeps on updating it all the time, that he's got an idle thing in there now. So I wanted to test that out. It's at least when you put the car in park, but you don't take your seatbelt off and exit the car.
Right.
We think that's what this idle means based on...
The driver doesn't exit the car. I think that's...
Right, like when I waited for Johnny to go in and get his glasses on the UNC trip day up at the Taekwondo parking lot, it showed a 7-minute idle, and that's true because I put the car in park, obviously, after I parked, but I did not get out of the car, take my seatbelt off, or go inside.
Right.
But I'd like to know what it does when you sit in a location, but you're still in drive with your foot on the brake. It's probably still not marking that as idle. Because Don and I would go so far as sometimes to say, okay, make sure you put the car in park so it will mark that we were at this location.
We have done that. That's
versus just, it'll do that after 15 minutes of you not doing anything. I mean, I've been sitting in the morning over at the school filming and run my mouth for 15 minutes, and all of a sudden the car moves a little bit because it puts the parking brake on.
Right.
Kind of a thing. So yeah, I mean, you can play the game to get the data you want, but the more it does it for me what I want it to do without me having to think about it, the better.
Well, normally we put it in park because to get out of the car without all kind of alarms, you have to put it in park.
Right.
For even the passenger to get out of the car, I always put it in park for her to get out.
Right.
So, but I still stay buckled.
Right.
I don't get out of the car. She gets out of the car, then I go put it back in drive, and I go park and do not get out of the car until I go pick her up at the front of the store. So I think we should have plenty of idle records, but we'll test out exactly what does it take. Does it, if you don't put it in park, will it still show an idle if you sit there playing Pokemon and nobody gets out of the car? We'll find out.
Yeah, because you don't want it to do that when you're at a stoplight, but you kind of want it to do that when you're in a parking space.
Yeah, so it might encourage you someday now to put it in park, and then even back in drive. Just put it in park and then put it back in drive to go, because that way it'll trigger a nice clean cut there, even if you don't get out of the car.
Right. It just depends on how anal you want to be about your driving statistics and how much you care. You know, Don and I were just driving down around town on a normal day. We don't care. But if we make a trip somewhere, we tend to look at the numbers and Teslafy a little bit more. And on those days, maybe we care. So
right. But I like the fact that you pulled into the supercharger, stayed in the car. I parked the GMC, and I came over and plugged you in. And it put that 1 minute wait, it called that an idle. It didn't charge it to supercharging, and it didn't charge it to
driving.
It really was just idle. And then, so it's kind of bracketing now your supercharger, how much time you actually spend plugged in. It gives you just a tad more information in there.
I agree. It's more, it's better than it used to be. And it's an additional improvement over the data we used to get.
Right.
As it never had that idle line in there before. So, yeah, that's cool. Your food's over here. I talked him into coming up the steps this morning without having to lift him. That's a lot of, pressure on his tummy all the time. I like it when he comes up on his own. Everybody else is here. Morris, let me go get the other bowl, honey. Good morning, Morris. Good morning, Morris. Good morning. I did have to ward off some mosquitoes, but I stayed moving really quick. I didn't stop. And I heard a few near me, and I swatted, and I guess I mostly missed them. So I missed getting bit by them, swatted them away. That was a good thing. Yeah, I'm out of breath. I've been hustling, moving fast. I walked out to the tree at the edge of the log area out there and watered. That one just gets dry pretty quick. And, yeah. Stripe wanted back inside. I don't blame him. Is that the spot to lay this morning? Get away from the sticky, the humidity, the mosquitoes, all that stuff out there, huh? Hi. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hi. Here we go. Whoops. I had Don let me off at the church parking lot area, and I'm picking up trash. I'll meet Don. He'll walk this way. It's trash pickup Sunday, and here comes a Y. A Y or a 3. It's a Y. We walked all the way up to the street for our house. At least back to Jules, it's downhill. I made the comment to Don, they've started re-siding this house. I guess the person there moved out and they're going to make it livable again. There was somebody living in it. Would have been really super great if they'd mowed the grass to kick off the project. So that the few people, and there are people that do it, that walk here where there's no sidewalk because it's just outside of the city limits, would be able to walk more easily. But yeah, I know I'm the only person on the planet that thinks like that. Don and I stopped back at home to wash our hands and get the aluminum cans out of the back so it didn't smell like a brewery in here. And it's Community Day Classic for Belden, and we're just gonna drive Main Street and then come back to the house. I need Belden candies, so Don is stuck. I don't think he minds going for a little short drive. We'll be in here with the air conditioner cranked on us after that walk. The window thermometer said 88 degrees. And we were walking in the sun and up the hill to the house neighborhood street and then up the hill back to the park and the other way. So we got some elevation. It was just under an hour.
Wow, okay, so we're testing our little theory here. We've been sitting here for a couple minutes in hold mode, in drive. We've not hit park. So we have been here long enough that when we go home in Tesla-Fi, if it's going to do an idle, it would have done it here.
Sure.
Neither one of us have unbuckled.
Right. I'm just catching Pokemon left and right.
That's right. So
there's 5 Pokestops I can reach from this particular spot.
That's right.
Oops.
Yeah, we were here too long and it put us in park. So now if we get a idle record, it could be a idle because of the fact that we went into park. I totally believe that you have to go into park to get an idle record.
Sure. Yep. Don brought us over here to look at this Volkswagen, which is a big advertisement for one of the 2 local fiber companies. Yep, Brightspeed. Well, there's a Cybertruck. It's got a New York plate on it, I think.
Virginia.
Virginia. Okay, I knew it wasn't North Carolina. And a wrap, and it's a Foundation series, of course. And, oh my God, it looks so good.
Yeah, it is. Very impressive. Kind of interesting color.
It would look good at our house with our color of our vinyl siding.
Yeah, right. So I'll get it for that reason.
Well, it's looking exactly like it's supposed to look. This is obviously headed to Michelle's house. We are getting a nice shower to keep the mosquitoes alive and so that I won't have to water tomorrow. I'm working on the building. You can see that I've got some additional toppings on the window here, and this window's extended. I'm fixing to put some St. Louis pork ribs in the oven for me and Don. Well, this build continues to come along nicely. I would say that it is slightly more difficult than your standard modular build from Lego. A couple of things, you know, I've had to refit them a couple of times to get them to do right. But it's worth it. I mean, it's looking great. The details are pretty spectacular. So, I'm happy with how it's turning out. I still have not completed the side wall because I've still got to figure out how I'm going to tie it into the back wall. I've just completed it as much as was necessary to attach this top part here. But it will, you know, that part fills in super easy. It's not like that takes a lot of time. It does not. It finished. Looks pretty darn good too.